I don't got time to mark this motherfucker. Here we go again. We can't hear anybody. Nobody can talk to anybody.
You guessed it, Pressure Points with your two favorite hosts. I'm Dean. This is Hard Body AJ. We're coming at you at Season 7, Episode 24, The Miracle Drug. We're stepping right back into the 1950s. We're going to talk about some weird shit. So find us on Instagram and Patreon at pointsopressure.com. Let's get to it.
Well, turn the fucking thing off, you dumbass.
I swear, every time that last voice line just gets a little bit louder.
I know, dude.
Are you gaslighting me? Are you editing the audio every week to just go up a little bit louder?
Absolutely.
A little more shitty quality.
Yeah, just gradually. If you compare it to the first time we used it, it's like it's 10% worse.
Ugh.
How you been?
Oh, good.
Now that we've talked for an hour and a half.
Oh, yeah. You got to have the bro time before you do the work.
Yeah, we got to talk about our personal issues.
Yeah.
Air those out.
Air those out so they don't come up during the episode.
Exactly, so that people can't dox us.
Yeah, so we don't talk about my prescription opioid use and Dee's masturbation habit.
I mean, we could
addiction.
talk about that. But
that's not an episode.
My masturbation habit addiction.
Yeah.
I'm addicted
You're
to
addicted to having a habit.
I'm addicted to documenting my masturbation habits.
Yeah, exactly. It's not about the jerkin. It's about the Excel spreadsheet that you keep on your phone.
In a year, I'll release an 800-page breakdown of it.
800-page report.
Yeah. My therapist says it'll help me get out of the
Your
cycle.
Therapist who observes you while you're writing this sometimes.
Oh, shit. But yeah, fucking rough week for us both. I guess we'll both just chalk it up to it's been a hell of a week.
Been a hell of a week.
Both of us. And it's hot as fuck. So
oh my God, it's so fucking hot.
So hot.
So hot.
I'm sure that it's hot. It's worse for you guys. I'm over here in a hoodie.
Bit. Yeah, you're wearing a hoodie.
It gets cold down here, dude.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Hey, you can come down and
close
hang out.
your vents.
I do.
I don't believe you.
I do, but there's no heat getting in anywhere else because those windows stay fucking closed.
Yeah, they better. Close
and
every
I have
vent.
a fucking, hermetic sealed door.
You have an airlock.
Dual door airlock.
You should just keep your fridge open. Help cool it down a little more.
No.
I don't pay the electricity bill, so we're good.
For the first time in my life, the last 2 years, I've had cold feet. And not about the podcast. That's
consistent.
That's been going on for almost 5 years now.
Yeah.
No, I have consistently cold toes. And I'm like, is this what it's fucking like?
Apparently. It's about 77, 78 up there.
Jesus.
According to the thermostat. We moved the box fan that's been continuously on for 7 years into the front room while we're out there.
Is it hot as shit up there?
It's warm. It's pretty warm.
You take that fucking
AC
thing.
We've also been playing a lot of Tarkov, so our computers are just
they're
blasting heat because I'm running a server while playing, and then my wife's playing too. So we're just heat directly into the room that gets the most direct sunlight throughout the day.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so
that's the other thing that benefits us is we have
no sunlight.
We have one window that faces west for sundown, and then nothing that faces east.
Yeah. What was that game where you would be dropped on a random spot on the world and you had to figure out where you were? It's like GeoGuessr. Hey, GeoGuessr fans!
Oh, I was
one western-facing basement window.
Yeah.
Find us.
Yeah, it's not going to be visible to Google Maps, so you'll still have to figure it out.
Yeah, figure it out.
Jesus.
But yeah, no, it's been hot.
Yeah, take that fucking AC
here.
thing.
It's we already pay enough for electricity in the summer.
Oh, that's fair, yeah.
It's 105 in Salt Lake this week.
Shit is rough.
Vegas was in the 120s. Ugh.
Yuck.
Fuck that.
Hey, at least it's not also humid here. Thank God.
Yeah, thank God it's not humid. My skin would probably benefit from the humidity. I'm basically a piece of chalk.
From the constant sweating, though?
No. I'm basically just chalk right now. Yeah, if I ran my finger across a blackboard, it would leave a mark.
You run into a blackboard and it just
yeah, like I had too much foundation.
Shit. Yeah, right. It just leaves a little ghost on there, little silhouette. But it's been a week. Also, we're recording this like 2 days in advance.
Yeah, sorry.
No,
I got to work.
It happens.
And they're going to be throwing me on a lot of weekends, so
all right.
I'll just forward you my schedule. I'll have Elaine forward you my schedule.
I wouldn't complain. She'd be like, "Why am I sending this to someone's full name at gmail.com?"
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah. Oh well.
Send that out.
Yeah.
No, and they fucking shorted me on my overtime pay.
Oh, really?
Because I get paid overtime after scheduled hours. I'm scheduled 36 hours a week. I picked up a 12-hour shift. I should get 12 hours of overtime. And they only gave me 8 hours of overtime.
Damn.
Bitches. So I sent them an email.
Okay.
And then I haven't checked my email since, and it's been a couple days.
4 hours of time and a half.
Fuck yeah.
Good, yeah.
That's like...
It's a lot.
$60. You know how much $60?
It's like $7. Fuck you.
You know how much $60 worth of meth is?
Yeah, it's a bunch.
Speaking of meth.
We'll shift into today's topic.
Instagram.com/points of pressure. Okay, keep going.
Oh, yeah, and for an ad-free version of the show, check us out on Patreon. All tiers get it. So, I will be referencing meth later on in the show.
Perfect.
It's in my notes. Not a snake oil.
Damn.
Not a now scheduled drug, unfortunately.
Is snake oil scheduled?
No. I'm saying, like, I'm not talking about, like, the history of, like, medical use of cocaine.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately. It's nothing, like, terribly fun or exciting. Mostly just unfortunate. So, mid-1950s, West Germany licenses a new drug for mass production.
Pervitin.
And it's showing huge progress. Not Pervitin. In 1958, this new drug hits the market, and it is immediately just like the licensing and everything is sent out to 46 countries.
Damn, this thing's in demand.
This is big. It's called Distaval.
Distaval. Hold on, let me think. It's German?
Yeah, Distaval.
Distaval?
So
okay.
Distaval is like the answer to all pregnant women's morning sickness problems. At least that's how it's advertised. It's also
an anti-nausea kind of.
Yeah, kind of. It's also used to treat pneumonia and like cold and flu-like symptoms. So it's basically like,
oh dang! So
if you imagine like 1958 Dayquil is what this is supposed to be in a way.
See, I was thinking you mix Dayquil with codeine, with Tylenol, with Dramamine, and then you smoke it in an 8-ball.
Yeah,
that
perfect.
sounds about like it.
No, this one's nothing too crazy. It's just you take a pill and you're good to go. It's kind of a new, like, it hits the market and it's this wonder drug. Because
that sounds
works.
Great.
It's been working phenomenally. No one's had any problems yet. It's over the counter, so you don't have to get like a full-on prescription for it or anything. In some places, tox tests on mice came back negative, and I mean they were giving them like fucking 10 times the doses that they would give humans, and nothing's coming back. So research looks good on it, and companies that are making it, I think there were like 14 companies that got the licensing to make it. They start sending samples out to fucking every doctor they can think of. In the US, doctors are getting it like fucking crazy. And they're like, get this out there. 2.5 million pills are sent to doctors in the U.S.
Jeez, that's marketing. What is this, the opioid epidemic?
Right, just about. And around 20,000 U.S. patients start dosing with Distaval. 207 pregnant women were reported to have been taking it in the U.S. Out as recommended by their doctors. Though those are just U.S. numbers. In West Germany, it was given out like fucking candy. In the UK, same story. Most of like Europe and really most other developed countries, it was just being given out like fucking crazy. The only reason it wasn't so much in the US is because this miracle drug hadn't yet been FDA approved. But it's still in circulation because these pills were sent directly to doctors. And some of these doctors were like, I get paid to give these out, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah.
And the FDA is like, we can't condone what you're doing. Like, you need to be fucking careful with this.
Yeah, nowadays, that's definitely changed. Nowadays, if a doctor gave something like that...
Oh, they're fucked.
Oh, they'd lose their license. They would be reamed by the FDA.
This is like the fucking Wild West of doctors, though. This
is really
1958.
like... This is this is on the tail end of the, oh, so you're frantic, I may as well masturbate you, kind of era.
It's fucking crazy.
The nerve soother devices, and it's a giant dildo.
It's the shift between doctors that are like, I'm doing this to help people, and doctors that are like, I'm doing this because I did it in both great wars.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's in the Venn diagram of that.
Yeah.
Now, the FDA's refusal to approve it is attributed solely to Frances Oldham Kelsey. She's this lady that's just like, hey, we can't approve this. She worked for the FDA. She's like, we can't approve this because this needs further testing. It needs further studying.
Okay, but I thought you said she was from France. Like Frances.
Oh, no. Frances.
Frances. I thought... I was like, what is it? Why is she from France? Why is she Frances?
French woman, Oldham Kelsey.
Yeah, I was like,
no.
Frances Oldham Kelsey. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. And then she works for the FDA?
Wait, what the fuck?
What the fuck is happening? Okay, sorry,
yeah.
That really
Frances Oldham Kelsey.
Hero.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume that a lot of this is kind of... I'm not going to necessarily say that this is really prejudice, but like a big pill is suddenly blowing up from West Germany.
Yeah.
I also would kind of have my doubts if it started research within 10 years from the end of World War II. I'd be like, we're going to hold back.
Yeah, especially...
Give us about 10 more and maybe we'll think about it.
With all the medical experiments, all the unethical experiments, all the untested experiments that came out of Nazi Germany. I can see why she'd be like,
I'm going to hold back on this. We're going to do our own research first. Are you sure you only tested toxology on mice?
Yeah. Are you sure you didn't mainline this into some infants?
So by 1960, a few doctors, and I mean, this is within the first 2 years of it circulating, a few doctors start seeing through the veil of this like miracle medication.
Mm-hmm.
One had a handful of patients come to him after and complain about numbness in their hands and feet.
Ah, that's normal.
They were like, something just feels weird.
Is that a
like
bad
I can't
feeling?
fucking feel them. I don't like it. And another doctor in Australia who was previously pushing the drug to his pregnant patients found out and discovered that 20% of babies that are being born are coming out with multiple is the word to focus on here, severe abnormalities. Like,
that's
it's
normal.
not like this baby's coming out with like, oh, one weird pinky. It's like both pinkies and all 10 toes and their eyes and like their heart are fucked kind of thing.
Nah, that's like
totally fine.
Who knows? You know, that's the
they're
risk
Australian.
You take.
Like,
yeah,
of course,
they're already inbred.
He's not from Australia. He doesn't get it yet. And he fully attributes this to the main ingredient, thalidomide. Now,
classic thalidomide.
We have talked about thalidomide previously
on an unlisted
this show.
episode.
On an unlisted episode, I had one or two sentences of information about it. We've had people ask us to talk about this again. We're finally doing it because it's fucking wild.
Yeah, thalidomide.
Yeah, medical wildfire. But yeah, we.
So what you're
I
saying
went back
is...
to that. So I went back to the
Oh,
notes
yeah?
for that episode, and I was just like looking through, and I was like, there was another one that I was gonna do notes on, and I ended up finding like an entire medical study on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do those notes today. Like,
Oh, yeah.
this is going to be one I'm going to do in the future that's just fucking massive.
Hell yeah.
And then I was like, oh, my God, I completely forgot that we talked about, like, the syphilis experiments and shit.
Yep.
Like, tons of stuff. So you guys can't listen to that anymore. You can if you're a Patreon. Or if you're on Patreon, right? Are those on there?
No, I don't think
if
so.
If not, yeah, well...
I can't remember. I don't know how
if
far
you
back
want to
they
listen to it, reach out to us so that we can turn you down.
Yeah, yeah.
Or find somebody that still has it downloaded. Yeah, so it has since been found that there are two versions of the thalidomide molecule. So we're going to get really fucking technical here, but I think that this is going to help explain what the fuck this is doing to people's bodies and why suddenly, like, everyone that's taking this that's pregnant is having these major birth defects. So, the way that these work, or that the thalidomide molecule works, is that one is like the right hand, and then one is a left. So they're not totally identical. It's like a mirror image, right? Because if you put your hands palm to back, it's not like
Not
your
perfect.
other hand disappears behind it. Yeah. They're identical, but not. One is flipped, I guess is the
They're
best way to
mirrored.
put it. So one side is R and one side is S. Those are like the technical terms for the enantiomer is what they're called. I'll get into that. But because it's a mirror, you can't consider both sides an identical copy. So it's actually the same concept with our good friend methamphetamine.
Yeah.
The R side is what gets you tweaked as shit. The S side is actually used in inhalers as a vasodilator, and it'll never have the psychoactive effects because it's not. It doesn't.
It's different.
Yeah, it's a literal flipped chemical structure. So the R enantiomer with thalidomide helps with morning sickness. Perfect. That's great.
Fantastic.
Phenomenal. Unfortunately, the S, its mirror molecule, causes birth defects.
So what you're saying is we should bring thalidomide back for us XY havers, XY chromosome
I will
havers?
get into what they're currently doing with thalidomide.
Fuck yeah.
So it's kind of like its own fun dichotomy. Like you have the really good benefits of it, and then the literal life-ending benefits of it. Or I guess you couldn't say benefits.
Yeah, not
Side
really
effects.
benefits.
Side effects. That's the word I was looking for. Now, the S side of thalidomide binds to a protein called cereblon, which is responsible for the structure of limbs and organs and kind of helps map out what your body's supposed to do when you're a fetus.
Yeah, it's the blueprint.
Yeah. Major role in, fetuses and budding humans. Kind of an important protein. And when that's fucked with, you can have some of the worst fucking side effects possible. Because it maps out where their organs are going to go, how big their organs should be, whether it's, half of an organ. If it's fucking with this really important protein, it's bad fucking news. Yeah. It affects how and where hands and feet will grow, and if they do. So the logical approach with this is you would isolate the R side and turn that into the medication.
Yeah,
right?
just get rid of the L side all the way, or the S side.
Yeah, which is great, and that's exactly what they did. The only problem is when the R side is put into the human body, for some reason, it switches to the S side. It literally mirrors itself and destroys your body. So yeah, you might not have morning sickness, and yeah, that like you had it for 5 days, whatever you took it. You feel great now, it's gone, but now your baby also comes out looking like either of us.
Yeah.
Which no one wants.
Nobody wants that. Trust me.
And so about 10,000 babies are born with congenital health problems. But this could go as high as 20,000. I'm not positive if those were just U.S. numbers.
I think so.
I think. Which is just completely fucked.
Yeah.
Especially considering in a lot of these cases, arms and legs aren't fully developed. They grow in a way that makes them non-functional. There are pictures, and I'll get some of them up on Instagram, that it's like, I think it's their feet that come down and out like that.
Yeah.
But it's like no bones, and they still have like 8 toes on one foot and what looks like a hand with like 7 fingers, and 2 of them are like mushed together. It's fucking bad, dude.
Yeah, no, that's messed up.
So 40% of those 10,000 infants with the birth defects died within the first few months of seeing or experiencing any of these. This also included growth problems with eyes, brain, kidneys, their heart, other organs as well. Like, it was basically just like, because it affected this vital protein for growth, it just fucked everything.
Yeah, made those bones real bendy.
Yeah, right. And the other problem with this is that miscarriages weren't technically tracked into those totals and towards the total number of deaths, because they were like, oh, well, it's not like a living baby with living defects. It was miscarried. So that number could be even higher than the 20,000, the 10 to 20,000 that we have. And that's even on the low side, because I'm sure a lot of these still weren't even documented.
Yeah, exactly. Because
someone took thalidomide at one point during pregnancy, and they were like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, this is safe. It's over the
I feel
counter.
shitty. It's over the counter. I throw some down, and I didn't fucking think to bring it up to my doctor. So that could be even higher, which is just terrible when you think about it. Like, at how extreme and quickly, like, one dose was enough to absolutely fucking destroy someone's
one dose is
body.
enough to wreck that fetus.
Yeah. Completely deform them for the entirety of the remaining of their life. There's no fixing
it's
these issues. Even if you survived and you made it to a higher age, like, your body didn't develop in its most important stages the way that it should have. There's not really a way to fix that.
Yeah, there are some minor surgeries that you can do to, like, ease certain kinds of suffering and pain.
Prosthetics will help, but even then,
you're fully dependent.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So, this news gets out, and it's fucking mayhem. There are women in the U.S. that are pregnant that have taken thalidomide that
they just
are reading these
now
reports.
Oh, fuck.
They're going overseas and seeking out abortions because they're like, no,
this is messed up.
This is fucked. What's crazy about it is that the type of deformity could be attributed to how many days into pregnancy thalidomide was taken. Mm-hmm. If it was taken and obviously take this with a grain of salt, because this is like statistic information from the 1960s.
Yeah.
But they noticed that at 20 days in, and mind you, like it's not terribly hard to track because we all know the stages of when things are developing in a fetus as it's growing. So at 20 days in, 9 times out of 10 it caused brain damage. 21 days in, they would have eye disfigurement and issues. 22 days in were ears and face, and 24 to 28 days was arms and legs, which is just wild. And then when you take into account anything taken after 42 days didn't damage the fetus.
Oh, it was already blueprinted out.
Yeah, fucking wild that it was just like such a
small window.
Now, it's like I said, like, we can't really, I personally think that, like, you can't have that as, like, a definitive breakdown. And, like, it's not necessarily tried and true evidence.
Yeah.
And you can't really test it, or else we'll have a sequel episode of
another
thalidomide
IRB
2.0 in like 5 years.
And no institutional review board would ever approve that.
Yeah, even on animals. Anything that. Like, you're literally, if you were to try testing with it, you are actively fucking something in its gestational, most important
it's not
growth.
Ethical in any way, shape, or form. The benefits, if this thing fucking made your dick 9 inches long and made you shit out 6 bars of gold a day, like, okay, somebody might be able to do that. But no, it's just, there's no, the benefit, there are other medications that do the things that this treats.
Yeah, it's
without these side effects. It's not even worth researching in this sense.
Like, hey, let's test what happens to pregnant women if they drink gasoline in their 3rd trimester.
Yeah, let's just see what happens.
Yeah, it's just like,
it's not ethical. There's no way.
You can't fucking do that because of the effects of this drug. It's just nuts. Although it would be interesting to find out what those, like, specific days, and if there is any credence to that information, but we'll never fucking know, hopefully.
Well, there is an NIH study that said, it just mentions in another thing that they did use thalidomide as a tool within developmental biology to track down limb development times within fetuses.
Oh, okay.
So not in an unethical sense, just by understanding the chemistry, being able to find the different markers and things.
That makes sense.
So,
like I said, I'm sure if it happened today, we would have a shit ton more information about it.
Yeah, but
because it was in the 60s, it's so hard to know exactly all of that evidence.
Yeah.
Though I'm sure that this is still really fucking accurate.
Well, this medication, I mean, it is still around.
Yeah. I'll I said, I'll get to that. And in 1961 and into and through 1962, most countries banned the use of thalidomide, although Spain continued to give it out until the 1980s.
Ooh.
And they didn't admit that they didn't ban it until the 80s, until 2008. It took them almost 30 years after, like, still administering this drug that's actively killing people. Just, like, I find that so crazy that they, like you wouldn't pull that off the market. Like, the moment you hear about it.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
What benefit?
Like, even for it to be, like, if it falls under, like, government oversight, whatever, even then, like, you're still so fucking responsible. 20 more years of something that...
that you know is causing damage.
Yeah.
That a simple mistake... You can still tell people, oh, don't get pregnant.
Yeah. Don't take this while you're pregnant. But absolutely.
People are... Well, for one, people are stupid. For one, someone could be like, oh, I'm really nauseous. You don't know you're pregnant. Yeah. A friend says, oh, try this. You're not pregnant, are you? No. Take it. Fucked.
Yeah.
Like, the level of error, the mistakes that could happen, it's not like Accutane is one currently that is still used that is it is teratogenic, which causes birth defects. But to be honest, it's heavily controlled. It's not something, it's for acne. You don't, like, There's no situation where you would give it to somebody who's not prescribed it because you have to be prescribed it, unlike this medication. And every month you have to get checked out. You have to take a pregnancy test. Like, there's a lot of control that goes into it. And the fact that they were just like, no, we'll just still give
fuck
it out.
We'll just leave it on the market. Mind you, nobody is developing it anymore. But the fact that these bottles are still on shelves in Spain is still a fucking problem.
And so now they're getting expired thalidomide.
Yeah, even better.
Yeah.
But, like, it's sitting in somebody's cabinet. Like,
yeah, that's the dangerous thing.
Yeah.
Is
and Spain they're not coming out and saying, hey, this is banned, get this shit out of your fucking house.
Yeah, like we know time and time again, just leftover medication always causes an issue.
Yeah.
It contributes to antibiotic-resistant infections because people don't finish all their antibiotics, and then they keep it in their cupboard, and then, oh, I'm a little sick, I'll just take a 2, and it'll help shorten it. Or the entire opioid epidemic where you're like, oh, I got my appendix out, and they gave me 25 to 60 hydromorphone,
God.
So now I'm going to leave the other 40 in the
hold on
cabinet.
To it just in case.
Just in case.
Yeah. What if I get hurt outside, working outside? It'll help.
Exactly.
What if I tweak my back? You know?
And then you make sure you tweak your back in a couple of days when you get the shakes.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
that's the strategy.
The medicine sitting in a cabinet can cause so many problems if it's dangerous.
For those of you that are in the U.S., if you have medications that are sitting in your cabinet, most, fire and police departments do.
Most doctors' offices and pharmacies do it too.
Like, you can basically take medication there
off.
and you just drop it off and they'll get rid of it for you.
They don't. Most places have a drop box, so you don't even get seen. And it also works for illegal drugs. If you find illegal drugs, don't flush it down the toilet. Take it to a police station. Drop off.
Instead, if you find illegal drugs, mail it to
the
a
pressure
police
points
station.
and mail it to Pressure Points HQ.
Yeah, mail it to the CIA.
Yeah, there you go. The FBI.
And be sure to put your full name on there so that everyone knows, so they're fully aware of where they can send the reward money.
Yeah, and if it's an illegal drug, probably go to a fire department or a pharmacy.
Yeah, true.
Don't go to the police station. They'll shoot you for no reason.
Yeah,
so
seriously.
Yeah.
So as it turns out, the research company in West Germany that developed thalidomide and worked it into being this like cold medicine morning sickness pill, it was actually established by a member of the Nazi Party, which is fair, absolutely fair. It was 10 years after
War Germany.
Yeah, most people that are at that level were members of the Nazi Party. Completely understandable.
Not to defend the Nazi Party.
Not to defend them, but a lot of these people were put in a position
it's not like
where,
every single Nazi died.
Yeah.
Like
exactly, yeah.
As much as we wanted
they should have rounded them all up and put them
into a camp.
But the big problem is that this guy, though he was just a member of the Nazi Party, he decided to put a chemist in charge that...
Joseph Mengele.
No, not that high profile.
Oh, okay.
But the chemist that he put in charge dodged and avoided war crime charges for his concentration camp experiments.
Ooh. That's a bad look. Ooh, that's a bad look.
Big time. It was actually the guy that made the typhus vaccine for Nazi Germany, Heinrich Muchter.
We talked about him.
Yeah, I know.
On the
That's why I
typhus
put the
boys take on the
name in
right.
here, yeah.
Holy shit. Dude, that guy is a scumbag. What the fuck?
He died in 1987.
No, hold on. I bet I can hear already. He's interviewing for this job, and the guy's like, I think we were at our last job together. And he's like, yeah.
Where do I recognize your name from?
But,
yeah.
Yeah, but I got away with it.
Yeah.
Like.
So, I mean, I know how to.
That's not a way that you should say that.
If I know how to, like, dodge war crime charges, I can definitely dodge pharmaceutical charges.
Weren't you involved in the Nuremberg trials? And he's like, yeah, but I got away with it, so it's fine. It's like, ooh.
Don't say that out loud again.
Yeah, do not say it like that.
He died in 1987, 30 years after all of this. However, he once again managed to avoid prosecution or charges in his role with thalidomide, despite many other people in the company being charged with negligent homicide. he still fucking dodged it all.
Silver
It
tongue
is
Nazi.
beyond me. This oversight of what thalidomide did to bodies is actually known as one of the greatest human medical disasters on record.
Yeah,
because
that's
of how
awful.
widespread it is and how long-lasting all of the problems are. I think into 2012, there were still like 3,000 to 6,000 people living from the
thalidomide babies.
Yeah.
They're called thalidomide babies. They're still
Fucking-
they're
yeah.
a good amount still alive
Yeah,
today
Canada
in their 50s
has like
and 60s.
a whole they had a whole organization for it. Most countries do. And if you guys remember, Francis Oldham Kelsey of the FDA, if you remember, she refused to let the FDA approve it. Because of her refusal, she was actually given the President's Award for Distinguished Federal Civilian Service in
Good.
1962 by JFK.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. And I
Hell
looked up,
yeah, brother.
unfortunately, I was hoping that like she got the award and then like a week later he
He's
got
dead.
assassinated. But it was like a
Big
year.
Pharma.
It was like a year plus
I wonder
after. I was like,
if
damn.
there's a photo of them together.
Yeah, there's a photo of
Of them,
him
like,
giving
giving
it
the-
to her.
they
Yeah,
were
I'll make sure that it's
yeah,
on
make sure,
Instagram.
let's make sure that's in there. Damn.
She was actually the second woman to receive the award. Fun little trivia for you. The first woman was Hazel Stiebling. She created the USDA nutrition program for vitamins and minerals, and she won it first.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
I see.
So, because of thalidomide, all drugs now have to be tested on fetuses and two different types of animals, which is why you have so much testing with mice.
You have to
'Cause they're
do
cheap.
mice and pigs, don't you?
Yeah, I think so, because pigs are so similar to humans.
Pigs' organs are more similar to humans, but mice, like the genetic expression, I think
think so.
is something like that, and then
It's like
metabolism is similar.
Yeah, I think
Something
it's
like that.
metabolism is something with the
With like
how
how,
it
the
affects the
receptors in the brain
Yeah,
or something
I
like
think
that.
they're really close.
Yeah,
there.
but the pig organs,
yeah,
now those are damn near interchangeable.
yeah, that shit's wild, especially with us.
Yeah, I mean for us,
It's a 1-to-1.
it's a 1-to-1. They just need to find a really big pig.
So, the UK distributor, their name is fucking hilarious to me because when you think of a pharmacy, you never really, or like a pharmaceutical company, like it's just so funny. Their name is Distillers Biochemicals, and it's like it's the most fucking like London shit ever. They had to pay out $28 million in compensation in 1962. That is, or not U.S. dollars, but 28 million pounds, which comes out to
British pounds.
British pounds, British quid. It comes out to $750 million in 2024.
Damn.
Which is equal to, for those of you in the U.S. who are like, kilometers, what the fuck is that? It's almost $1 billion. It's like 984 million U.S.
Still not
dollars.
enough.
Yeah.
The fact that they could stay in business
Yeah,
after
absolutely.
perpetuating this horrible thing.
The UK government also gave survivors access to a $20 million trust, which comes out to 530 million pounds. Australia gave out $89 million to over 100 survivors. West Germany, because they were giving it out so much, they had like 2,000 to 3,000 deaths. And the research company ended up paying out monthly stipends to victims. And in the 80s, they had to change the terms of the agreement because it didn't take into account the inflation over the last 20 years.
Oh, shit.
So suddenly they had to pay out even more, as well as paying $50 million into the charity, the thalidomide charity, and they lost all of their money to the extent that now the German government is taking care of those monthly stipends for thalidomide survivors.
Well, I'm glad they are.
Oh yeah,
Still
absolutely.
taking care of it. Like I could totally see
Yeah.
a government saying, "Well, they're out of money, so Go fuck yourselves.
And it was $50 million in 2008 when they made that payment. East Germany, however, this is my favorite fact in the entire thing.
All right. I'm so ready. We've been talking about East Germany a lot.
So, because West Germany developed the drug, East Germany never approved it for drug use and had 0 reported infant thalidomide cases.
So what you're saying...
Reported cases.
So what you're saying is that communism wins again.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was so fucking funny that it's just
out of spite.
They're like,
no,
nope, not approved.
Go
no
fuck
way.
yourselves.
We know who developed it. We know him personally. We're not approving this.
Yeah. Hey, what was the name of the chemist who came up with that drug? Nope. No way.
They're like Mook, and they're like Tur. No way. No way, Jose.
No. I see how he gets around those camps.
Do you have his rap sheet? Oh, you don't? I fucking wonder why.
Yeah. Oh, you're saying he got away with it.
So a lot of awareness, except for in Spain, I guess.
Yeah.
Somehow Spain was like, keep that off the front page. And 2 years go by, and in 1964, a man in Israel discovers that thalidomide is like perfect for treating leprosy.
Yeah.
So, in 1998, obviously this takes a long fucking time to take care of and figure out how it's going to work without killing everybody. But in 1998, the FDA approved thalidomide for treating leprosy, but only if the person isn't pregnant or plans on ever being pregnant. If you get approved for it, you have to go through this like super rigorous program with like I think it was
how you
like
put on a condom.
almost like monthly testing to the point where 98% of the people that are on thalidomide passed their quiz 100% or high, like 100%.
Damn.
So it is like rigorous. They're like, hey, look, like this can be passed through bodily fluids. If you're taking this regularly and you have leprosy and you bleed on someone, there is a chance that you could deform their fucking baby. Like,
don't bleed on people as their face skin is falling off because they have leprosy.
Yeah, kind of like the Accutane thing, like you talked about. Like, there's this regular awareness that you have to make sure.
Yeah. Don't piss on anyone.
Yeah, right. No pee fetishes if you're on thalidomide. They have to be on like multiple different kinds of birth controls just to ensure that nothing happens. And luckily, no thalidomide birth defects have been found since the FDA approved it in 1998. So the classes in education for it are clearly working. HIV, lupus, Crohn's disease, and a handful of other diseases, as well as treating cancer.
Yeah, multiple myeloma.
Are all in research for using thalidomide because it can be utilized to stop your body from growing more blood vessels, which can prevent cancer from gaining the nutrients that it fucking needs to continue growing.
Yeah, it's got some anti-tumor effects.
Yeah, it has like a whole... It like can duplicate and help with your autoimmune system.
It's an
without
immunomodulator.
Without it going like out of control. So yeah, it's coming up. There's a ton of newer research on it, and then people are looking into it, which it's funny that it has such a like cursed and fucking terrible history that it was one of the worst fucking drugs that's ever hit the market. And
maybe it has some uses.
Yeah, and they're finding great uses for it today.
Yes, there was a
fascinating
little study in 2002. So there have been repeat studies and stuff, but this was one that really kind of opened it up to the cancer research. A study, of course, a Dutch study of 72 patients showed anti-tumor effect in 45% of the people on thalidomide who have refractory multiple myeloma. So it kind of, you know how it fucks with your limbs when you're a fetus and doesn't let them grow right?
Yeah.
It kind of does the same thing with tumors.
Yeah.
Where as the tumors are developing, they just can't. It just fucks it up, and it'll stop it.
Fucks up that protein.
And it'll...
And essentially kills it off because it's constantly deforming it. It's fascinating.
Yeah, so a lot of research...
It's crazy that something like that could have
something
such
so
a switch.
Fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the research on it is on people who are not... Well, the women, obviously, are usually past menopause. They're usually in their 60s when they're doing research on this, at least in the early days.
Just so that there's no chance.
Just being extra safe. But, yeah, leprosy is no fucking joke.
Yeah.
There is some... I'm gonna counteract one of your statements. I'm gonna argue it. There is some evidence that there have been more thalidomide babies, but not in the U.S.
Really? Oh, yeah. That's what I meant. Because it was FDA approved.
In the U.S.
In the U.S., there aren't any.
Yeah. Outside of the U.S., it's still used.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
In some very, very, very poor locations because it's very cheap and easy to produce. It is still used, and because there's a lack of education about this stuff, there is a chance, but nobody knows 100%. But it's pretty commonly used in some pretty poor areas, so... Which, that sucks.
Yeah.
Let's just bring it down.
Pretty bullshit, but...
Pretty bullshit.
In poor areas and Spain.
And Spain.
But yeah, so finally covered the thalidomide.
The real episode.
Yeah, the real... I'm finally dipping my toes into redoing some of that first season bullshit.
I mean, a lot of that first season was...
It was just shotgun effects.
Well, it was just a good setup. It was a little bit about a lot of topics.
Yeah.
I feel like now that we kind of know what we're doing,
yeah.
And I found it definitely easier to do notes now than it was.
Yeah, big time.
God, it took a long time before I was like, yeah, I can knock out some notes.
Yeah.
I think, now we can kind of go back, do a little bit more details on some of that.
It's like I said,
Chop
I
Shop
found
Body Swap Part 3.
Nah, man, that one was like peak.
So good.
That one was when I hit it.
You hit the stride.
Copied and pasted everything from Reuters.
Fuck. Reuters.
Yeah, Reuters. Fuck. Well, no one can check the source on it because I said it wrong the whole time.
Yeah. No. We got our sources from Roto-Rooters.
Roto-Rooters. But yeah, if you guys are interested in an ad-free version of the show, check us out on Patreon. We also do an exclusive every single month. We have a free tier on there. So you'll have access to, I think,
it's a couple episodes or something.
A couple exclusives, and a couple of sloppy seconds, which we have like 30-plus sloppy seconds on there. AJ's got his amazing series called Voices. So check it out. If you can't afford it, please just go for the free tier. Any like activity on that site helps us out. So we would greatly appreciate it. Because if you can't afford it, don't pay for it. Do I think it's worth it? Yeah, but don't go into debt paying for extra sloppy seconds episodes.
How much equity is in your home?
Yeah, send us an application. We'll see if we'll approve you for debt to pressure points. Yeah, so check it out on there. You got those names?
I clicked away.
Oh my God!
There we go. We've got Minnie D, Thomas, and Toddle Waddle. Thank you guys so much. They wanted us to let you know that they never would have approved thalidomide.
Yeah. And if they had, it would have been not for the cold and flu symptoms, but only for pregnant women from day 20 to 28.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the only constituency that they would have insisted on.
They really... No more eyes.
Yeah. Fuck your arms.
Yeah.
Great guys. Great.
Fantastic.
Boys. We really appreciate everything from you three.
Thank you. And then we've got Abby, AJ's Third Nut, Nordic Thunder, Weston, Dark Runner, D's Nuts, G-Dog, Grover, Hayden, Laura, and Lindo. Thank you all so much. We appreciate you being here and hanging out, letting us keep yapping.
Yeah, keep giving you the stuff.
The
info that you really want. Yeah, and as always, if you guys ever have recommendations for show ideas, if you have an article that you're like, holy shit, this is you guys. If you're scrolling through Instagram and you find something that had to do with one of our old episodes, send it to us. Tag us in it. Whatever. We love hearing from you guys. And if you want to recommend movies, TV shows, books, dirty magazines, clean magazines, anything at all, or if you just need somebody to talk to, by all means, reach out to us. Me.
Oh.
Reach out to us on Instagram at pointsopressure. Feel free to email us ppdnaj, all the letters, at gmail.com, or go to our website, pointsopressure.com, and go to the contact us page, and we'll catch you next Monday.